I don't do casual dates because I'm not really a casual person. A dinner party setup video that I posted and someone commented like, you just don't do things halfway. I was like, you know what? I want that to be my brand.
The idea of a woman sharing her time and energy with a man and him acting like, I don't know if that's worth the price of dinner. If you want a provider, he's the kind of man that doesn't mind providing a meal on a first date. He's not somebody who's worried about being used. Sometimes it's not about the man and his means. It's about the man and his mentality. The kind of men that are like, I only do drinks dates and I only do coffee dates. That's fine. Don't do them with me. Don't compromise on what you want because this one dude won't do it. Because what one man won't, another man will. One of the best pieces of advice that my mother ever gave me is what you compromise to get, you must compromise to keep. So when you start off doing coffee dates and drinks dates, knowing you don't like that, knowing that's not what you want, you're going to have to keep compromising. And once he's talked you down off your standard, he knows your standards don't really need much. So he's going to keep testing those boundaries. I don't kiss on the first date, but you went out with me and you say you don't do coffee dates and here we are at Starbucks. Like, he's going to keep testing those boundaries. He's going to keep you lowering your standards till you barely recognize who you are because you're so busy trying to impress him. If he's worried about the cost of buying a woman a meal on a date, he can't afford to date. He's trying to date on a budget. He can get in 5 or 6 coffee dates for the price of a decent dinner. So that's what he's trying to do. It's not your job to make his dating more affordable for him. I'm not saying go out to eat and order 48 oysters as an appetizer. Nobody's saying that. But what I am saying is, girl, get what you want. They chase, we choose. We're not lowering our standards so that somebody's dusty son can meet them.
I don't do casual dates because I'm not really a casual.
You know what I'll say about this? I'll say I think that things are a little bit different now than they were back in the days. And I'll say this, right? It really depends on what your threshold is for getting to know a person before you go out. So nowadays we have online dating. And with online dating, you're coming into contact with a lot of different people. And to be quite honest, I honestly don't want to sit down to dinner with every single person. I honestly don't. Well, I'm not really much of a go out to dinner type of person anyway. I like to do something a little more active, a little more fun. I like fun dates, etc. So I'm not really that sit down to dinner type of person. I'm more, let's do some rock climbing or let's do a nature walk, or because me, I'm really trying to get to know a person. I'm not sitting down for a coffee date because if we're sitting down for coffee, we could be sitting down for food. I really want to be just a little bit more active than that. That's just me. This is going to be an unpopular opinion. I just think that as the landscape of modern dating changes, I think that we have to take into consideration where it is that we are, what it is that we want, what it is that we need. You know what I mean? I personally don't need to sit down at dinner. I don't need that. I do need to try to get to know this person. Me personally, I don't meet up with people that I don't see on video because, you know, there's some restaurants out there that are playing games with us now too. So I don't meet up with people that I don't see in video. I don't meet up with people that I don't have that rapport with already. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it really depends. Like, who is this person and what do I want to do with this person, this unique person? Not a template of whatever type of date that I feel that I need to get for what reason. I don't even understand how sitting down for dinner became the standard anyway, but to have this template that is set up that this is just add water kind of instant complete pancake mix kind of thing. Just I have all of this stuff in my mind. Just add water. No, this person, what are their likes and their dislikes? What type of time are they on? What type of activities do they like? I think that dating can be a time for you to really get to know a person and their likes and dislikes. Now, is this person a foodie and they just want to go out to restaurants because that's how they get down? They just really love food. They really love eating food and all this other stuff. Me personally, I ain't going to be the one for that type of life. You know what I mean? Like, if we are out doing an activity and we're hungry and then, you know, and it's time to get some food, of course, you know, with the types of stuff that I eat, it's not going to be fast food anyway. Right? But it's something that comes up in the course of the dating. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I don't see how dinner and a caliber of restaurant is a standard. If that's what, maybe she's a foodie too, and maybe that's what she likes, then finding a foodie, because I think that dating is an opportunity for you to get to know a person and see how they live their life. I dated a guy, he used to buy a lot of expensive food, but that's what he did for himself. That wasn't some one off that he did for me. It was like, this is how he liked to live his life. And so I was coming along into a purview of how he likes to live his life. And so, yeah, me and what I like something a little bit different. You all know I like funk music. I like funk bands. I like art. I like travel. I like the outdoors. I like physical activity. I like those sorts of things. And so if we're talking and these are things that you're also into, then we're more of a match. I don't think sitting down at a restaurant really helps you determine whether or not this person is a match. Not only that, I think that people can pretend to be a certain way, right? When they are sitting down and everything is calm, right? I like to see people in different surroundings so I can really see, like, let me see what you're like outside of this. You know what I have done before? Not on a first date, but in the course of dating. Those rope obstacle courses, right? I know whether or not you're the type of person that is super competitive. And as soon as we get on that rope obstacle course, to hell with you, Tonya, I'm at a certain physical level, so you're in the dust. I know a lot about you from that, right? Trampoline park. There's kids at the trampoline park. How do you relate to and interact with other people's children? How do you interact with the parents? How do you deal with a situation that's scary? An obstacle that may be a bit more challenging? How are you physically? Do you have some physical ailments that I need to know about? What do your damn socks look like when you take off your shoes? All jokes aside, but what do your socks look like? What does it smell like when your shoes come off? How do you deal with customer service? So all of these different things that I've done, it's like, I really want to get to see a person in challenging times, in a situation that requires ingenuity, in a situation that requires physical strength, in a situation that requires chivalry. I like to see those sorts of things. I'm not much of a bowler. I saw somebody mention bowling. I'm not much of a bowler, but if that's your thing, I mean, if you are an avid bowler, but I don't want to just go out as a calendar filler. Like, oh, let me just fill my calendar with this particular activity. It's like, I want to see how you're living. I want to see what type of human being you are. I want to see what your personality and your temperament are like. I want to see what values you hold true. So that's just me. That's just me. And so I like something a little bit different. I don't judge people by not being able to afford a certain level of dinner, because honestly speaking, listen, and it all depends on what was the barrier to entry, so to speak. So like, if we spoke on the phone once and you want to go hang out and whatnot, right? I'm not expecting you to spend a whole bunch of money on dinner, because I'm expecting that if we just talked and met up and there was no real, because you know what, nowadays, it's like you could talk on the phone till you blue in the face, right? But you don't really know what looking in that person's eyes, what feeling. I'm very energy sensitive. You don't know what that energy is like being next to them. You don't see how they move, how they walk, how they talk, how they speak to other people. I like to see those things. And I'm not expecting you to spend $200 on dinner and all that other stuff. If we just talked once briefly and like, let's say we talk on an early Saturday and he's like, oh, look, I want an XYZ. And if I happen to be free, listen, I'm not one of those type of people that have a whole bunch of rules and playbooks and all that other stuff. I play it by ear, case by case basis. So if we happen to talk on a Saturday and he's like, oh, there's this thing happening at Central Park, you want to come with? Okay. If I'm free and I feel like it and I'm up for it, I'll go see what it's like. Because, you know, they have like those outdoor trampolines. They have the bubble run. They have the bouncy house village where you just go and you just jump on a bunch of bouncy houses. They have a lot of, they got Shakespeare in the Park. They got all different types of things, right? And so I'm really expecting to get to know a person. I'm expecting to see what you're like. I'm expecting to see how you maneuver, how you move. That's what I'm expecting to see. Maybe I'm just at a different stage in my dating life, but I was never really that girl. I was never really that girl. And you know, with dealing with the type of money that I deal with and all of that stuff, like certain things just aren't a big deal to me because I know that it is not indicative of anything more than what exists in that moment and how much you're spending in that moment. Because some men, in order to try to get your barriers down, will spend ridiculous amounts of money on stupidness. But that's not how they're really living their life. This is why sometimes I like to just take a purview, enter into how a man lives. Listen, you want to know a great date idea? Go to an escape room. See how that man deals with challenges. Listen, for real, for real.
Be a part of the live show with thousands of other viewers. Go to TonyaTKO.com/text and join the text notification squad and get a text whenever I go live. Support the show and yourself, and I'll see you on the next live broadcast.